What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well today. So today, DICE did its pre-monthly live stream where they discuss what's going to be coming up in our monthly update here in October. So we have some big news for people who enjoy the Operations game mode. What you're going to be seeing coming out tomorrow, October 12th, is now we're going to have the Operation game mode going to be available for us in server browsers. So finally, we're going to begin to see this mode now in the browsers. Previously, before, we were only able to see other game types such as Conquest, but now you're going to be able to see the server browser, and the Operation mode will be in there as well. So that is definitely helpful for people who are trying to get into Operation game modes. They are trying to focus and try to refine the Operations mode to get ready for us for next month's drop, where they're going to be doing a lot of missions and things like that that are going to revolve around the Operations game mode. And so what they've as well will do in this update coming here in October is they're going to take out the 40-player Operations game mode. So previously, before, we had the option to play 64 players or 40 players. Now they're taking out the option of 40 players out completely. So now we're going to be left with only one Operation game mode of 64 players. Of course, spread out across all the other type of maps that we can play, but they're just going to condense it down and try to bring their player base focus into one option to choose. So hopefully that kind of helps the lack of player base and kind of the scattered out player base that's been happening lately in Battlefield 1. So hopefully that begins to make it easier for people to get into the Operations game mode itself. And with now the server browser, and with them condensing the player base into one game mode here, hopefully this overall makes it a better experience for people who enjoy the mode. Now, as well, just want to give you guys a heads up of how this actual server browser is going to be updated in the game. So normally when they do their monthly updates, they'll start with the PC side at around like 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then they'll begin to work their way to PlayStation and then to Xbox. But they said after they're done with that, they're going to do a UI update afterwards. So I would expect then a little bit later in the morning, for at least for Pacific Standard Time, where you'll begin to see this in your browser itself. So when the update shows up immediately, we're going to see certain bug fixes and certain things in the game that they're going to fix, like they're going to take out the Operations 40-player mode and things like that. But you won't see the server browser come up there immediately, but you will see it come up more in the morning time, and then you'll be able to see that in your browser mode, and hopefully again that will help the Operations mode and get a better player base in the game. Now, the Operations mode was, like I had said before, it's kind of the main big update, mainly getting us geared up for November. They're trying to make it as accessible as possible for as many people to get into that mode, because there's going to be a lot of community missions that are going to come out in November in regards to Operations. So they are just kind of getting us ready for that. They did and they will have bug fixes that are going to be coming out. So I'm going to make mention of some of the ones that kind of caught my attention. For instance, they're going to fix some of the specializations up. They're going to fix the one that has smoke cover your teammate that's down, and now you're going to have the option as a medic class to click on that person, where you're going to let them know that you're coming to revive them, and that's going to end up deploying the smoke. They did make mention that this does kind of help the server lag issue by them changing this, and they thought as well that this kind of overall helps the medic class, but they do want your feedback on that. So if you aren't liking that, they are more than willing to change that back. They did say it does help with the server lag, and they said that that conveniently did kind of help as well too. They felt in order to deploy the smoke when you wanted to deploy it. So again, all you have to do now is click on the player and let them know you're coming to revive them, and when you do that, the smoke then will deploy on your teammate instead of how it was doing previously before. It is nice to know as well too, they are fixing some things around the smoke grenade. So if you've used smoke, which not many people I see kind of use, it's not the most popular grenade, but I use it a lot, so I'm very happy with this one. They now the bug fix where if you threw a smoke and you just couldn't shoot your weapon or do anything else. So that was that was a bit fun to have, and I'm glad that they fixed that. And glad DICE is, some days I see their bug fixes and it's like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with me. And sometimes you kind of wonder, why, that bug fix, they're working on that, whether they could be working on something else. But when it actually fixes the bug, that how you play, you're like, the happiest person in the world. So thanks to DICE for fixing that one. So now if you throw your smoke grenades, you're not going to have your whole, your whole soldier just stop being able to shoot or do anything at all. So that is helpful. They are fixing the specialization where you were to use your syringe to revive your teammate, and by doing that you would give your teammate and yourself a speed boost. They were noticing that that wasn't even working at all, so that was a completely bugged out system. And so because of the update, you're now going to see a more of a boost in your speed when you revive your teammate, as well as your teammate will experience that as well. And one update kind of thing that I did notice that is kind of it's pretty nice to have now, they're going to show you the health on tanks. So when you respawn back into the game, you'll be able to notice if the tank is, has enough armor to support you when you redeploy in. If you've had that experience before where you're trying to get a good spawn point and you see a tank there and you want to spawn into your teammate's tank, and the moment you spawn in, you find yourself dead and you wondered what was the point of doing that at all. Well, now they're going to give you in your redeployment screen some information letting you know how much health is going on with that tank, to give you a better estimate if it's a good idea to deploy in that tank or not. So those were kind of the bug fixes that I kind of want to highlight on. There's a lot more, and that will be coming out in the detailed list tomorrow. I'll come back to this video and make sure to put that in the description below. Again, this update was mainly to be focused around operations mode. They're trying to get us again geared up for the November community missions that are going to be around this mode, and so that was basically the focus for this month. So again, thanks again guys for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. I am Living, and I'll see you guys again later. Peace.